The following is brought to you by paulakers.net.
Hi everyone, welcome to AME's virtual tour series. I'm Richard Evans, President of AME Canada, and I'm going to be your facilitator for today's session. AME is really excited to bring you this series, which focuses on Paul Akers' 2-second lean philosophy. 2-second lean is embraced by companies worldwide since 2011. For the next few months, AME is going to run a series of best transformations ever seen from around the globe. We're going to visit a different company every month, the first and third Wednesday of the month through September. And hopefully, after our annual conference, which occurs in October this year, we'll continue the series. You can see we've got a really great lineup here. So I'm going to hand you over now to Paul Akers. Paul, it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay, Richard, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having the vision to put this together. It's amazing. Everyone, we're going to Seating Matters in beautiful Northern Ireland. I personally been there. I'm going to tell you there's one ground rule here above everything else, and I learned it in Japan from my sensei. Do not be critical. If you're watching this tour right now and you're picking apart what Ryan and his team have done, you're going to miss all the good stuff. Come here with an open mind to be filled with innovative and creative ideas, because Ryan's team is extraordinary. What you're going to see is jaw-dropping. Ryan, it's all yours.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Richard. And I'm really excited to show you around Seating Matters today. Just a really quick overview. Seating Matters, we're based in Northern Ireland. We've been on our lean journey now for 5.5 years, and the transformation has been unbelievable. We started the company 12 years ago, myself and my two brothers, and we're really excited to show you around today. So I'm going to do a very quick overview of the whole company in about 3 to 4 minutes. We're going to start right here at the front door, and we're going to walk right out throughout the whole factory in 3 to 4 minutes. So let's go. So straight away in here, this is our accounts department. So this is Owen and Kerry and Annie. So you can see the visual management here is really unbelievable. The stand-up desks, the clarity, the focus that everyone has because of the cleanliness in this office is really good. You can also see the visual management board over here to manage all the daily, weekly and monthly tasks. So it's really brilliant. So moving on here is the order processing office. So this is where we process all our orders. We also have the design department in here. So we've got JB and Darren here. So this is Nuala in order processing. You'll notice that everything is so visual, it's clear. We're big on visual management and big on color coding. So let's go out to the factory. So first thing you can see here straight away is the 3S weekly schedule. So every single person in the company has a 3S weekly schedule. So we know during improvement time, every single day, there's total clarity on what the tasks are and what we have to 3S, so that every single area of the factory is 3S to meticulous detail every single day. So just noticing the color coding and all the visuals and all the racks and the cleanliness of everything. So this is factory 1, and factory 1 is the start of the production line where we cut the fabric for the chairs. So all the cutting is done here, and I'll just show you the sewing room. And this sewing room is really unbelievable. There's not many sewing departments that look like this. It's really clean, it's really organized, and you can see exactly where the work is and what's happening. So even the attention to detail on the visuals over here, this is an example of exactly what we're making, and all the parts are in here, and the attention to detail on the labeling is just unbelievable. To factory 2, where we will see the final assembly. So again, you'll notice how visual everything is, the cleanliness of the floors, this nice bright lighting. It's a real nice environment for working in. And something that's really interesting here is the 3-sided visual signs that we have. And we have these throughout the entire factory. So it's very easy to see from any angle where the rack is. So moving on up, you'll notice that everything is quiet and clean. Quiet and clean. So that's one of our goals. And you'll even notice the detail here on the first aid stand. So every single thing is in a 2-bin system. tiny detail. The factory is in it. It's really unbelievable, the detail if we went to. And this is the frame assembly here. So this is Sean. Sean is in frame assembly. And you'll notice, this is really interesting. You'll notice that all the tools and all the nuts and bolts are sunk down into the table. So it's really easy to grab. And all the components and all the stock is gravity fed from the bottom of the table. So once we take this out, it's replenished by gravity from the back of the workbench. It's really a great idea. So moving on down here, this is our canteen area. And one of the things to notice here is that there is no wall and no divide between the canteen and the factory, because we believe the canteen should be as clean as the factory and the factory should be as clean as the canteen. So we're really excited that the level of cleanliness is the same in every single area. It doesn't matter if you're in the canteen or the factory. The visual management and the attention to detail on every single aspect of this canteen is really mind-blowing. So just walking out to the wood area, we're moving quite quickly here. See all the visuals here. See how close all the tools are to step on. Everything's at hand. The tools are at hand. All the bins are tilted at an angle to make it really easy to work. So I would really recommend that you take notice of all the small things that are happening in the background. Look at all the details and all the nuances that are happening. So even the visual management on the thicknesses of the material, all the different wood thicknesses, it's all color coded. So all the 25 mil is a certain color, 20 mil is a certain color, and so on. So we're moving very quickly here, but this is our powder coating area. This is our welding area. And I think it's important to note that this is typically a very dirty, messy process. But we have challenged all that thinking. We have challenged the thinking that it has to be dirty and it has to be messy. And we've really improved the standard of the cleanliness for this type of work. So over here, you'll see our outdoor maintenance area. Again, you'll notice the cleanliness of all the equipment. Every single thing is in its place. And we're really, really big on missing tools and having everything right where it's needed. So this is our outdoor maintenance area. You'll see the level of attention to detail we went to on everything to make sure the outside of the building looks just as nice as the inside of the building. Because this is a non-value added process, we want to make it so efficient so that we can get back to adding value to our customers straight away. So moving on here, this is the goods inwards and goods outwards. And it might be good if we just do a big wide pan of the whole factory just to show you the scale and the attention to detail that we've went to with every single area of this facility. Every single square inch has been touched by continuous improvement. It's really unbelievable what us and our team have achieved in 5.5 years. So I'm just going to show you this, and I think this is very interesting. And we show it every time we do a tour here at Seat Matters. We show this visual board. So this is our delivery drivers, and I want to make a point that these are non-employees, outside contractors who manage all our deliveries. But in the spirit of respect for people, we have a photograph and a name of every single delivery driver, and we use their name every time they come in contact with a Seat Matters person. So it's really respect for people at a really high level, and they feel like part of our team.
What has been the appreciable result of you treating these outside people like this?
Yeah, so similar to Toyota, our outside suppliers and outside contractors are as important as our internal employees. And the results, really, if I'm being honest, the results are unbelievable, because we have delivery drivers doing one-off deliveries for us after hours. On bank holidays, they're still coming in to do things outside of the normal because they're treated with respect. We go outside of the normal for them, and in return, that's the service we get.
So first, you cared about them, and now they care about you.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we're almost famous in the logistics business. Everyone wants to come here because when they come here, they use our facilities, they eat in our canteen, they use our snooker table. You know, they feel part of the team, and they really are. And it all started with this visual board.
Let me ask you one more question. So they come into your canteen, they use your bathroom. Do they keep things at the same standard that your team does?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because
Why?
they know, because they know how we work. There was an incident last year where someone didn't leave it at the correct standard, and we politely asked them to go back and fix it and leave it better than they found it. Everyone, as soon as you enter Seat Matters, as soon as you come through the gate, you know that this place is different. This isn't a normal company, and they almost wake up and say, "What, what's this all about?" So as soon as you enter Seat Matters, there's a real, almost a feeling that it's different, and people really treat everything with respect, very much so. Yeah.
So this environment heightens the awareness of all your senses: visual, smell, touch, feel. Everything is heightened in this environment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Even by non-employees.
Even by non-employees. Yeah. Even people that have maybe came here for the first time, there's almost a feeling that there's something special going on here. Yeah.
And the one thing I would say to that is, then wouldn't that make managing the company and the organization easier for you?
Very, very much so. We always say that we have 50 people all going in the same direction. You know, it's easy to run a company when you've got the support of every single person and the total engagement of everyone. And I think for anyone logging onto this call today to find out about Lean, or will I do it, or will I take Lean to the next level, it really takes engagement from every single person in the company. It's not 60% of people doing it, 70%. Every single person is committed to daily continuous improvement, and it's the only way it will work.
I want to hit on one other point, and this is one of my most favorite sayings. Michael Altoff came up with it. Lean is hard work that makes work easy.
Easy.
And that's what I'm seeing here. Lots of hard work, but it's really much easier to work.
Yeah, it is. And even a message that you sent me recently, Paul, you said, it's hard being good.
Yeah, it's hard being good.
It is, yeah.
It takes some sweat. Go for it, Ryan. You're doing awesome. Keep going.
Okay, let's go. So the next thing we're going to show you is a concept of value versus non-value. And this is one of the most important concepts if you're starting or even taking your Lean journey to another level. So let's go and see it. When I visited FastCap 3 years ago, so this is an example or an area in the factory where we're going to talk about value versus non-value added activity. And it's a really important concept. And once Paul really educated me on this subject a few years ago when I visited FastCap, it changed my way of thinking. Whether Donna is adding value or non-value added activity. So Donna's going to start carrying out a process. So only the point where the knife is actually going through the fabric is when the value is added. So non-value, 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 value, value, non-value, value. So organizing the template is non-value. Deciding which chair to do next is non-value. Changing the roles is non-value. So value is only created when the product is actually changing. And that's what most people don't understand. And the key to Lean, and that it's so simple. So non-value, non-value, value, 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 value. So value is only created when the product is changing. So I would challenge everyone on this call today. There's people on this call from all over the world. I would challenge you to go back to your company, have a discussion with your team, and decide where the value is in your organization and try and reduce the non-value added activity.
Ryan, just one quick comment. Ryan just said that I taught that to Ryan, but it's very important that you know where I learned it. It is not my idea. I learned this from Norman Bodak, the father of Lean in the United States. Norman Bodak learned it directly from Shigeo Shingo on the shop floor at Toyota. Norman was standing next to a machine and Shingo said to the engineers, where is the value and non-value? The press came down, hit the metal, formed it, and the press went up. The operator took the metal out, stacked it on a pallet, put it on another pallet, put another piece in, and Shingo said, it's all non-value. Only for the 1 second the tool hits the metal. That's where I learned it from Bodak, and Bodak learned it from Shingo.
So some of the improvements that we've made here to reduce the non-value is the color coding and the attention to detail on all of the templates. So you can see right here, if you zoom in really close. So this is a template for a gutter arm. It's used for, it's on a family of 3 out of 4. So the attention to detail on this one little label, and we have over 900 temp one area, but every single template is detailed to this level. And it's really unbelievable because wherever we ask the question, that's where the answer should be. So we're asking the question, what fabric is used with this? The answer is here. What chair do I use it with? The answer is here. Wherever we ask the question, that's where the answer is. There's another really good one as well. So if you move down here, so typically cutting is a very messy process. All the cuttings end up on the floor. And at the end of the day, we would have batched, tidying everything up. So one of the things we've done was have a really simple sliding bin. So now as we cut and as we produce waste material, we're putting it into the bin straight away. And as Donna and Geraldine are working, the material goes into the bin straight away. So it's one of hundreds of improvements that have been done in this area. And really the transformation in the last 5.5 years, since we found out about 2-second lean on YouTube one night, sitting at my kitchen table, the transformation has been unbelievable. And the amount of people that have been affected and companies that have been affected since the start has just been mind-blowing. So I hope you really internalized this concept of value and non-value.
When I came to Seating Matters several years ago, I walked in and I literally cried. You, Ryan, you remember that because it was so unbelievable. It's at a level 10 times above what I saw 2 years ago. Extraordinary at all levels. Well done.
Ryan, we got a question from one of the attendees. What was the biggest challenge in getting to where you are today? And what is the biggest challenge that you're going to face moving into the future?
I think one of the biggest challenges from starting lean at the very start was getting everyone engaged. But I can safely say on this call that every single person is engaged and continuously improving. I mean, everybody, because it doesn't work with 70%, 80% of people. Every single person has to be engaged for this to work. And it is hard work. But once you get there in your organization, once you can create an environment where everyone is working towards the one goal, then the results are absolutely unbelievable.
How did you do it?
It's really easy. And this is not easy, but I've got one thing that really helped, and it was the morning meeting. So the morning meeting is probably one of the most important parts of our day, and that's where the culture is really created. In the morning meeting, we have a very clear process for how we conduct our meeting, and we're perfecting it all the time. But the morning meeting is where the culture, I believe, is created, and the morning meeting was the key to getting lean to stick at Seating Matters.
Excellent answer. Okay, and what's your biggest challenge? That's the next question.
Our biggest challenge is probably keeping, we have such a motivated team that everyone is so hungry for more. They want to learn more, do more, grow more. And it's almost making sure that the business grows as quick as the needs of our employees grow.
What a problem.
It's a good problem, yeah.
It's normally just the opposite. Every other company, just the opposite.
Here's another question, Ryan. Do you measure value added versus non-value added time? And if you do, what's the percentage reduction that you've achieved in the last 5 years?
But one of the things we don't get into too much detail on is measuring every single thing. We educate everyone on waste. We can just see waste. It's just like day and night, black and white. It's so obvious that we just keep reducing the non-value. We're not too hung up on measuring or recording or that type of thing. We're just more about daily, continuously reducing the waste. Yeah.
This is exactly what Shingo said. He said they were his wasted 10 years. For everyone listening to this, All the people that want to see all the charts and graphs on the board, Shingo said this was his wasted 10 years. All the graphs and charts, I spent all my time measuring when I should have been improving. Brilliant answer, Ryan. Let's continue.
So the next thing we're going to look at is our 2-bin system in conjunction with how we use Kanbans here at Safety Matters. So we're just going to walk up here now and see how that works.
Hi, I'm Alison, and I'm just going to show you in detail our 2-bin system at Seating Matters. So a few of you might have seen the videos before, but I just want to go into a wee bit more detail and answer some of the questions that you might have. The reason why we are showing the 2-bin system is because this is a system that every single person in the entire factory is involved with. So everyone comes here every day. We have these racks, if you want to have a wee look, we have these 2-bin racks throughout the entire factory, and every single bin or 2-bin has a Kanban attached to it as well, and every person in the factory can trigger a Kanban. So that's why we wanted to go into the detail. So as you'll see, looking at the racks to start off with, I will just show you the process of how a Kanban works. So these are external Kanbans on these 2 bins. So this is a hook that we use. So if we empty the first bin, what we would do is we would slide the back bin forward, put the empty bin into the back, and place the Kanban holder in the back, and now take the Kanban that needs to be ordered and drop it off in the Kanban collection point. We then have our order processor. He would call around here twice daily to collect the Kanbans from here, and then he takes them back to order them. This way he has a good eye of where everything is in the factory, and he's able to keep an eye on the stock that's here. He knows where everything is, and he also returns the stock back to here. So he has a full concept of everything that's going on stock-wise within the factory. So I'll just show you some detail with the racks that we have. The reason why I want to show you some detail is because you'll see here we have a total ownership sticker. I just spotted this total ownership sticker, and this means that one person has total ownership of this rack, but the improvements that are done on this rack have been done by multiple people throughout the whole factory, and if an improvement's carried out on one rack, we take it through all of the racks. So you'll see here, we'll look at some of the details. So we have it highlighted with the rows. We have a pen knife here. We also have all the labels are flexible, so that if we want to move these bins to another location, maybe closer to the point of use, what we would do is we just remove the label and take it to another bin somewhere else in the factory. And you can see this was actually done here recently. That's why we have a couple of empty spots. The other thing that we have here is, you'll notice all the labels have a lean label number. And that lean label number means that if those labels get grubby or need replaced or updated, what we would do then is go back to our system of lean label numbers and update the picture, or even just reprint it if it's grubby, and then we're able to print that out within a few minutes and have it replaced. So it means we don't have to have any grubby labels. We've all had those grubby labels throughout our factories, but we don't have to have them here because the process of changing it is really, really simple. The other thing we have here, you'll notice that Ryan's already highlighted the visual label of where this rack is. Every Kanban is detailed, and you'll see here the angle of where the labels here are. So if I'm coming to this rack, I'm looking directly at the row, so I can see that the angle of this top shelf is straight down, for it's suited for my angle. But if I look down, I don't have to hurt my neck to look down to the second row. So you'll see the detail of the angle here is a wee bit deeper than the first one, and then you'll check the bottom one out. I can see from here without having to bend down and look underneath to see what is that I'm looking for. And again, that's reducing the waste that Ryan was just talking about, because waste is me looking down to see what that is, where I can see up here at a glance where I'm going to, so I can walk right up to it. Some other details we have here is the standard work. You'll see here how to trigger a Kanban. So we have a concept here that is, wherever you ask the question, that's where the answer should be. So that was one of the questions that we had. And you'll notice throughout the factory, we have so much visual control. And the reason why we have the visual control is because of the questions that people ask. So that is a massive, massive concept that you could spend hours talking about. It's wherever you ask the question, that's where the answer should be. And every time there's a question, that's an opportunity for improvement. So we always say that it's fantastic. And a few other factories, and normally around the world, that the person that collects the Kanban from these Kanban collection points is the water spider. But our water spider here doesn't do that. But our water spider in the factory, in this factory here, I'm in factory 2 at the minute, the water spider in this factory, you'll see Kathy here if you just want to watch her. So what Kathy does is she is the most valuable, non-value added person that we have in this factory, because what she's doing is, hi Kathy, what she's doing is she is taking away the waste from our skilled workers that we have. And that's not to say that she doesn't have a skill. A water spider is an extremely high skilled job. She needs to see way into the day, so that she can create flow through the factory. So even if you just want to watch her to see what she's doing, everything that she's doing there is non-value added.
So in 30 seconds, Allison, explain to everybody, what is the purpose of a water spider?
So the main purpose of a water spider is to create flow throughout the factory. They eliminate the waste from the skilled workers, and that's it. They're absorbing all the waste and creating flow.
And so they are picking up all the empty bins and resupplying with full bins and making sure that everybody has what they need so they can continue to work. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. So our skilled workers can keep adding value. That's what our customers paying for. They're paying for the value added.
2 questions, Allison. How many employees total at Seating Matters? And how many water spiders?
We have 50.
And how many water spiders?
So we have, there are 3 in different factories, but we also have probably about 10 that are cross-trained to be able to do that job. So order processor could be a water spider. I can be a water spider. Ryan can be a water spider. So there's lots of us cross-trained for those very busy times of the day where someone can jump in. If you're behind our tack time, we work on tack time. If we're behind our tack time, an extra water spider in that area can just ramp it back up into tack time.
Next question. I'm noticing so many things are on wheels, the workbenches, everything's on wheels. Why?
So the reason why we have everything on wheels is for flexibility. So you'll see here, if you just want to have a look through, all of these racks are on wheels. Every table that we have is on wheels, all of our trolleys, our bins. The reason why we do that is for flexibility. Whenever a machine, a huge big stand like this is on wheels, it allows us to move it, to create the improvement. If that wasn't on wheels, we would never think of moving it. So we wouldn't be improving because it's a lot more difficult. So whenever we go to buy, you'll see that every big machine, it's the first question we ask is, can we put wheels on it? That's the reason why we want to make it easy for people to improve.
Next question, Allison. How long have you worked at Seating Matters?
I have been here for almost 4 years now.
And what is the difference? Describe briefly. What's the difference when you started and what it looks like today?
A massive change. When I first started here, we had already implemented Lean. We had been doing it for just over a year, but from then till now is immense. And I would say one of the biggest reasons why is because we fully internalized concepts. We persisted with the morning meetings. When it got tough, we kept going. When the motivation was low, we kept going. We knew the motivation was low. And what we had to do was we had to fully understand Lean concepts, and we had to learn how to teach them and to motivate people to bring them up. So I think that the biggest difference is the people. All of us have been growing together, and every single one of us can teach. We're teaching each other. That's the biggest difference is the people. The factory, we can change this and it'll look different this time next year, but the people will only just keep getting better. It
sounds to me like you have the most amazing human development system, more than you have a production development system.
That's right. That's why we're here. We're here to make our lives better. That's the whole point of Lean to me and to everyone else here, is that what we're doing is we're making our lives better by reducing our waste that we have. When you reduce waste, you automatically become happier. You want to learn more. How do I reduce more of this? How do I feel like this more? So that's human development.
Let me ask you this, Allison. You can answer any way you want. Top 1, 2, or 3 favorite Lean concepts that just rattles around in your brain all the time that you just embrace and love.
Yeah. So the first one, and I'll always say this, is wherever you ask the question, that's where the answer should be. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's the one concept that we keep going back to, because the questions will never end. And the reason why is because the improvements will never end. There's a never ending improvement. So someone will always ask the question, and that's where we can find our improvement. Second one is always, and I think it comes from you there, Paul, it's fix what bugs you. It's the number 2 concept, because we need to recognize, all of us need to recognize what we're actually being bugged by. And I think it's massive, especially I've been working in the office recently, and I've noticed that what we do in the office is we keep doing things and we don't realize that these things are bugging us. So if we can delve deeper into that concept of fix what bugs you and teach people how to recognize what bugs them, then we'll just keep, there's no end. There is no end.
Phenomenal. I'd like you to answer the same question. What are your favorite 1 or 2 concepts that rattle around your brain that you think are most important for people to understand?
There's a concept we have that we use all the time, is total clarity. When people aren't clear on what's happening, clear on what's expected, clear on what the production target is, clear on what's happening within the company, I think total clarity is one of those concepts that it's so important. And we internalized it a few years ago, and we spent a full week on our morning meetings talking about total clarity and the importance of total clarity. And if we can cut out all the nonsense and all the ambiguity and get straight to the clarity, then we can reduce so much waste.
Fantastic. It's interesting. Dimitri, who manages my yards and everything, that's his target this year, is removing all ambiguity from everything we do, from maintaining the Japanese gardens. And that's beautiful. I love it.
We're open for questions.
While we've been doing this, Ryan, we've been asking lots of questions in the chat. But one of the main things is, if somebody has not embarked on 2-second lean yet, how do you start? Where do you actually start? I know that you watched a video, woke up the next morning and said, I'm going to change my life and my company's life. So what happened?
So 5.5 years ago, I came across Paul on YouTube, and we'd been struggling with, having a lot of issues, production issues, staffing issues, all the normal problems that companies have. And I just thought there must be a better way. We can't keep running a business like this. And fortunately, I came across Paul, and I sat up all night. I didn't go to bed. I sat up all night and watched Paul's videos. And I spoke to Martin and Jonathan, the other 2 owners, and I said, we need to do this. And we literally started the next day, and we implemented 2-second lean, and we haven't stopped. The question is how to start. I think whoever is in the position of authority in the company has to be totally engaged in the process, because if they're not totally engaged, I can't see how it would work, because this is a massive shift. This isn't just like a flavor of the month. This is a total commitment for a new direction for the business, and the top management and owners of the company must be engaged. So I think that's the first place to start.
Now you go back on 5.5 years. If you were to start again, would you do anything different?
Yes, there is something I would do different. At the start, we watched the videos, we all read Paul's book, and we thought that we could do lean without doing the morning meeting, and it didn't work. So if I was to go back to the start again, we would do the meeting from day one, because everyone tries to do it different ways, and it is a flexible system. But when people ask us how we've become so successful at implementing 2-second lean, I just tell them to go and read the book. Go back to Paul's book. All the answers are in Paul's book. He's telling you how to do it, and you're not doing it. So that's why it's not working. So literally buy the book, read it, implement it page by page, word for word, and it'll work. It's as simple as that.
Ryan, I'm going to interject one thing there. You do not need to buy the book. Everything's free. I have an app.
Free, yeah,
I've spent tens of thousands of dollars developing this app with Tom Hughes. All my books are in audio format in 9 languages. You don't have to buy a thing. If you want to buy the book, go ahead. We got a great deal, $5 if you buy 20 or more. I don't want your money. I want you to improve your life and the lives of the people you're responsible for.
Having the book, whether it's free, whether you buy it, is the knowledge. But the foundation of 2-second lean, according to you, is the morning meeting, engaging everybody to go in the same direction. Would you agree with that?
Yes, 100%. Yep. So it's so important. It's the most important part of our day.
And don't let anything distract you. There is no opportunity in the world more important than your pursuit of developing a lean culture. None. No business opportunity, no customer, nothing is more important than this. Number one is everything I learned from Japan and I learned from Toyota. I don't want any credit. All this thinking is from the Japanese thinking and from Toyota. And of course, Toyota learned it from Ford. So it's very important that the people who started this great way of thinking get the credit for it. It has nothing to do with me. The next thing is, Ryan said, removing all ambiguity, total clarity. Well, I'm going to be very clear about something. You notice that this conference started exactly on time. Everybody who joined in late, you will not be admitted next time. You will join 5 minutes early. You will be ready to go. It is a total distraction for you to come in late. It is totally disrespectful to Ryan and his team. Michael Altoff, who is going to be the next one. It's disrespectful for all the time and effort that Richard's put into this, his team has put into this, for you to come in late. You come in early or on time, or you will not be admitted. Okay?
All right. Awesome feedback. Okay.
Perfect.
I'm gonna stop the tour now. We're gonna come back to you, Ryan. Don't worry. But I want to just get some feedback from everyone, if I can. There's a poll that's going to be launched. There are 3 questions that I want you to answer. So the first question, all of you, out of 10, how would you rate today's session? Number 2, have you been inspired to implement or continue with 2-second lean? And then number 3, did you find today's tour valuable? Yes or no? Which is absolutely incredible. So we've got 98% that basically give it a first-class rating, which is great. Fantastic. Really, really pleased.
Over the top. Richard, that was the best poll I've ever experienced in my life. Well done.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Okay. Next tour, we're going to be visiting Michael in Yellow Tools in Germany. It's going to be 2 weeks today. We're going to be starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So whatever time zone Paul is in, and he reminds you about it, make sure that it's Eastern time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. AME, as you know, is a volunteer-based organization. Please consider donating to our Return Stronger campaign. You'll see the website at the bottom. It's https://www.ame.org/return-stronger. Just a very small donation, if you found this of value, would be really, really good.
Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, Richard is the president of AME. He is a non-paid position. This is a volunteer position. He's doing all this out of the generosity of his heart. Everything is done out of the generosity of everyone's heart. Ryan is not paid. No one's paid. Allison and Ryan, over the top, extraordinary, exceeded all my expectations. The CD Matters team, you are above, I don't even know what to say. It's speechless. The next thing everyone needs to know is 2 weeks from now, we're going to Germany, to Windig, Germany, to my good friend, Michael Altoff. It will blow you away as well. Be prepared. It's going to do nothing but get better and better and better. And we're going to learn together. It's an exciting life we all have. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Brought to you by AME and paulakers.net, where you can find all my books and resources on my website, paulakers.net, for free. You can even get my new app, 2-Second Lean Play, where I have all my books available in 9 languages in the audio format, designed for you to listen while you work and play at paulakers.net or Lean Play.